Hey YouTube world, it's me Coco and I am back here with another video. So I decided to go with Soul Sundays because it just sounds better to me, okay? But yeah, in today's video I'm going to be talking about my journey. I'm going to be talking about the very beginning of my journey from where I became. I mean, not where I became, but where I kind of sort of had a sense of knowing, as far as I can remember. Yeah. So before I get into it, I would like to say thank you for your support. Thank you for watching. Thank you for liking. Thank you for commenting. If you shared, thank you for sharing. I really appreciate you all. Please continue to like, share, and comment. Help me boost my views so I can get paid for this shit. Right? Help a sister out. Help a mother out. Okay? Help a mother out. But yeah, I'm gonna just go ahead and get into it. So as early as I can remember, my journey started about 14, 15 years old. Yeah, baby JoJo. The first thing that stuck out to me was my eating habit. Turn that down, Tomoko. The first thing that stuck out to me was my eating habit. I went from eating a lot of meat and processed foods to being pretty much a fruitarian. I didn't like vegetables, so I wasn't eating a lot of vegetables, okay? And the reason why that stuck out to me is because when you on your journey, right, one of the first things that changes is your diet, your lifestyle, your eating habits. And it doesn't mean that you're going to go vegan or you're going to go vegetarian or whatever. It just means that it changed for the better. Like, say for instance, if you are eating meat, right, you go from eating all this meat to maybe eating less meat or to eating cleaner meats. Your diet is just something natural that happens, and each person has their own diet. But that's what really stuck out to me. Another thing that really stuck out to me was always knowing that I had to live for myself. From a teenage, I've always known that I had to live for myself, and that caused a lot of conflict between me and pretty much the adult figures in my life, because the adult figures wanted what they thought was best for me, and that is absolutely okay. But understanding that just because you think something is good for someone doesn't mean that that's necessarily good for them. And I knew that, yeah, that stuff was good, but that stuff wasn't going to be for me. I had to live my own life. I had to go down my own journey. And I had to go down tough roads so I could learn certain lessons. And a lot of the lessons that I've learned, they don't teach you that in school. Okay, that's what people fail to realize. School isn't the only way to learn. Yes, learning through life experience is harder, but you're more connected when you learn through life experiences rather than learning through a textbook, right? You could see all these statistics in the books about what happened, and then but because you lived that experience, no, that's not what happened. This is how it really happens. Because what they, you get what I'm saying. The school is not the only way to go. Like I said, a lot of the lessons that I had to learn, I wouldn't have learned it in school. I just really had a strong sense of really, really living for myself. And that doesn't mean that I always had like a saint life. Like, the reason why I'm so calm now and I'm so knowledgeable now at the young age of 26 is because I've lived such a rough life at a young age, okay? That's why. Like, I've experienced all that at a young age. I had to do what I had to do to survive, okay? I done went to jail. I done did some drugs, okay? But with the drugs, though, I was at least 18 when I did some drugs, okay? I wasn't no young person, okay? But yeah, I got locked up. I did drugs. I done did a lot of shit that I wasn't proud of, but at the same time, I know that all that shit really happened for a higher reason, okay? And with all that being said, even though I really went through all this, y'all, I lied to y'all not. I was divinely protected and connected this whole entire time. Like, I remember when I got locked up at the age of 20, no, I was like 20. Yeah, I was like either 19 or 20 when I first got locked up, right? Let me tell y'all how divinely protected I am. So when I went to jail, I only had to go to jail for 2 weekends, right? And the 2 weekends when I went to jail, I had the same inmate, right? And the inmate that I had, I still fuck with her. Like, I thought I wasn't gonna like her because she a Gemini, and I don't really do well with Geminis, okay? But let me tell you, she was cool as shit. And you know, when you hear about stories about people in jail, how they go through all this wild shit, my time in jail was a walk in the park, okay? Like, my uncle's girlfriend was locked up, and she was in the general population, so she had privileges that I didn't have. So she used to fuck with me, and she used to give me shit, okay? When they came to, like, the new inmates, we were all cool and shit, you know, sharing our stories and stuff. It was really cool. I mean, it was actually a pleasant experience for me to be in jail. Like, how could being in jail be a pleasant experience? Like, I really couldn't complain. Like, I was able to sleep. You know, like, I really had no complaints about being locked up. Granted, I don't want to be locked up again, okay? I don't. But, you know, I really had a pleasant experience in jail. You know, you cannot tell me that's not divine protection. You cannot tell me that. And then another time I had went to court, right? I had a court date, right? And all the evidence that they had, I guess, somehow mysteriously disappeared. Okay? Like, you cannot tell me that's not divine protection. Okay? Y'all can't tell me that that's not divine protection. The first time I went to jail, I was supposed to have a felony. I got charged with a misdemeanor. Okay? With a misdemeanor. Y'all cannot tell me that's not divine connection, divine protection. Like, you know, I done been in some fucked up situations where I could have got kidnapped, I could have died, all that shit, right? Especially with the sex trafficking shit that they got going on, all that shit could have happened to me, and nothing happened to me. I actually met my children's father in one of my most fucked up situations. This man could have kidnapped me, he could have raped me, he could have did anything to me, and I'm glad he didn't. He's a very good guy. Obviously, I have 3 kids with him, and y'all see me glowing, so obviously he's a good guy. But that's just a prime example. Like, this man that I've met on during my struggle turned out to be the man that I end up having a whole family with. Like, y'all can't tell me that's not divine connection and protection. Y'all cannot tell me that is not, okay? Like, when I tell y'all I was heavily protected, I was heavily connected, you know, I've always known that my grandfather and my aunt were protecting me from a very young age, you know, not from a very young age, but, you know, from 14, 15 years old. I forgot how old I was when they actually died, but I just knew that I always knew that they were protecting me, okay? Like, I was always connected, I was always guided, I was always protected, and I've had this sense of knowing without being conscious to the sense of knowing, if that makes sense. It's just like I just knew, I had tunnel vision of what it is that I'm supposed to do, where it is that I'm supposed to go. Like, nobody can steer me from this road. Nobody can steer me from going down this path. Like, I know that this path is for me. I know that this is what I'm supposed to do. Yes, I have to do what I have to do to survive, but as long as I'm still on this path while doing what I have to do to survive, I'm doing the right thing, and I've been living by that this whole entire time since I was 14, 15 years old. I lie to you not, okay? So yeah, that's how it started in my teens. So stay tuned for how it happens in my 20s, because that's where it really get interesting. So yeah, enjoy the rest of y'all day, and thank you for watching.